I am here at 914Cares, and I cannot tell you how amazing this space is because, as many of you know, I have been at 914Cares when they were in my planes, and now we're here with Marjorie Trube. And God, look at all this. This is incredible. Okay, walk me around a little.
Yeah, so right now we're standing sort of in our clothing bank, and we have all of we take gently used clothing and new clothing donations from the community.
I just dropped a whole bunch off in there.
Oh, awesome. So we have permanent bins in our vestibule where the door is open all the time and people can drop off bags of clothing anytime, 24 hours a day, and then it comes into the space. We're going to go back to where the bags go.
Okay.
And we have our volunteers sort through all the clothing and
You have a lot more volunteers now.
Yeah.
A lot
The
more.
new space has really brought in so many new volunteers.
Yeah.
It's just, the environment is so much happier and prettier, and so this is all the clothing by gender,
Wow,
and
this is
size,
incredible.
and clothing items.
Wow, so organized. Not that it wasn't it was not disorganized. Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
All those
so,
Nike shoes.
Yeah, we'll talk about the shoe. Jessica will tell you
Wow.
about our new shoe program.
Look at all this stuff here. Wow.
Yeah, so these are all.
And the diapers. Wow, you never had enough space for them before.
Yeah, so being in the new space, we're able to store more
That's incredible.
inventory and get more donations. So
Wow.
so yeah, all of our diapers are stored in pallets, and we have a loading dock and an entrance where we can bring
Right.
pallets through without unpacking them. They can come straight into the space.
It's incredible.
Yeah, so everything, all the clothing gets sorted here, and anything that's stained, ripped, or torn gets put in our recycle bins, and
Oh, that's good.
it gets recycled, and then everything gets like pre-sorted into
Oh, I see
to
what you
these
do.
bins.
Yes.
And then it goes through another look, and everything gets sized and put into the bins
That's amazing.
to give out. So,
And what you do is when someone is one of your clients, you provide them with a week's worth of clothing.
yes,
Which I think is so great, so that way they can mix and match, and they don't have to wear the same clothes every day.
exactly. And they can get things, the new bags seasonally,
Yeah.
but for
That's so
each
nice.
season. So, and
And then who's all the toiletry
so
items?
this is brand new.
Yeah.
We received a very generous grant to start our hygiene bank.
Oh, how great.
And so we were able to source pallets of hygiene supplies, and this is enough to create 4,000 hygiene kits.
I am here today with one of my favorite people that I've interviewed numbers of times, Jessica Reinmann, who is the CEO. Yes, CEO of 914Cares. And I've seen this organization go from an idea that you had that was, just one person to now I'm in awe of what you've done. It's unbelievable. So congratulations.
Thank you.
How long have you been in this new space in Armonk?
We moved here in March, beginning of March.
Right, that's right. But I mean, the space you have, you can still grow into. You're still not utilizing all of it, which is great. Yeah. So what prompted you to want to make the move?
So we, our old space was in an office building, and it was very choppy. We had about 6,000 square feet. There was no loading dock. It was a great central location, and we really wanted to stay actually in White Plains. But the real estate market was crazy when we were looking. And Rick Rackow, who is a real estate agent who's worked with us for years, found the space, and he convinced me to come look at it. I felt like Armonk was a little too north. Like our community partners come to our space to pick up, so we really wanted it sort of in Mid-Westchester. But we fell in love with the space. So the space is 12,000 square feet.
Wow.
And so we went from 6,000 to 12,000.
It feels bigger than double your last space.
Well, the last space was choppy.
Like you said, choppy.
Exactly.
There were all these different rooms.
Right.
And now this is just one big space.
Exactly. And so And it was actually hard to envision because it was an office space when we first looked at it.
Really?
But the other thing that we really loved, so our landlords are amazing. I'm going to give them a shout out, GHB. They are fantastic.
Wow.
And they absorb the cost of the build out. So
Really?
yeah. So we are paying more money per month, going forward, but they absorbed the cost and did the whole build out for us really quickly. They were fantastic. And so from start to finish, we signed the lease in beginning of December and we moved in March.
Wow. That's impressive.
And so why did we move? In general, we needed more space. We needed a loading dock, which I'll get to later on in your questions. And we really wanted it. The old building was a little old. And this is like, they've just built out a beautiful, like very workable space for
Now
us.
I'm going to turn this for a second, just so people can see. I'm in a room, it's the reading room, and they have books everywhere, and I'm going to point it down because they have this delicious rug, and I understand that you have kids who come in from different places for reading time.
Yes, so we started this actually at the old space, but knowing that we were going to move here. So we built this library specifically for this program. It's called Westchester Reads, and what we do is we reach out to under-resourced school districts in Westchester. Right now we work with 3. We work with Tarrytown, Ossining, and Peekskill. And we're trying to get more on the schedule. And every Tuesday morning, a class comes in. We pay for their busing through an amazing grant from the Nora Roberts Foundation.
Wow.
So we pay the busing, and they come in, and the kids sit down on the rug, and we have they get 3 books read to them depending on their age. Shannon, who works with us, was a former elementary school teacher, so she has really ramped up the program. We have guest readers come in. We encourage them to dress up as the book they're reading. And the kids, so we read 3 books to them. But the real biggest point, obviously, getting them out into the community and out of the schools and stuff. But we actually set up next door in our conference room, we set up a bookstore. And as you see all the books around here, they get to choose 10 books of their own, and they get a little bag that they put them in, and they get to go home. And the real goal of the program is to help them start home libraries. And so we have a special section for Spanish readers. So a lot of times when these classes come, we'll hear, oh, so-and-so just arrived last night. And so we've gotten a whole bunch. We got another grant for Spanish-speaking books from Scholastic. And so so we really try and cater to the children. And it's been such a success where the districts keep wanting to add more and more, but we just keep it on Tuesdays because we have a lot of other volunteers that come in too.
And you have other things you have to do also.
Yeah.
So the changes that you've made, I mean, I can see the changes. The bins are much, there are many more of them, so you can really sort down instead of having these big cache areas. Now you've got it really down to a science where you have it much, much less. And then also with the diapers, it's a huge amount of diapers. I mean, before you did the diapers and it was, everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's like a huge area. So can you tell people about how the diaper program works?
Sure. So so one of the reasons we moved was because we wanted to be able to have a loading dock. So we're members of the National Diaper Bank Network, which is a network of about 300 diaper banks nationally. We're the only member in Westchester County. And what that entitles to is lots of education for us to bring into the community, but it also entitles us once a year to a full 18-wheeler truckload of Huggies diapers. We have to pay $6,000 just for the delivery fee. So we got 180,000 diapers our second week here, which was a little overwhelming, but and we still have some of them, as you saw when you were walking around. And so that's invaluable. And similar to what Feeding America and or Feeding Westchester say, if you donate $1, we buy $4 worth of diapers of food. We say that for diapers because we have access to all of this. We also have access through the National Diaper Bank to a buying program where we get to buy from wholesalers. So we're not buying at top prices. So we have, I'm going to look at the numbers because I wrote numbers down. So since we moved here, we've been able to increase our diaper numbers by 20% each month.
Wow.
And so we're looking at right now, in September, and we took March off, so we didn't distribute diapers in March. We are now in September hitting the number that we hit in December last year.
Wow.
So we're, our goal is for 25 to distribute 1 million diapers. So we'll probably be around 800,000 this year.
And I'm shocked when you said that you're the only bank in Westchester that distributes diapers.
So we are the only recognized member of the National Diaper Bank Network.
Okay.
So there are other organizations that distribute diapers. In fact, we don't distribute directly to the public.
Right.
So all of those diapers are going to our community partners. So, if you're in Northern Westchester and the Boys and Girls Club or Neighbors Link, if you're in Southern Westchester and Hope Community Services or Catholic Charities, we distribute to all of them, and they're the ones who distribute. But being a member of the National Diaper Bank Network and getting those benefits, we're the only one. There was another one, but it's since been sunsetted.
Okay. It's a nice way to put it, sunsetted. And I mentioned when I had my walkthrough that WIC, which is what a lot of people are in public assistance, does not cover diapers, nor do they cover feminine hygiene products.
So WIC actually does cover diapers. So
Oh,
they
it
can
does.
use WIC money to buy diapers and formula. What doesn't cover it is food stamps, and that's like the big issue that's happening in Congress right now. So food stamps covers food and food only. So it doesn't cover hygiene menstrual products. It doesn't cover diapers. It doesn't cover hygiene products. But you know what it does cover?
What?
Fritos and regular Coke. It covers energy drinks.
Great.
And so WIC is a very, very small program.
Right.
So food stamps is a really, it's not called food stamps anymore.
Yeah.
It's I'm missing the word of the program, but WIC does, but it doesn't cover. It's supposed to cover your clothing, your diapers, your diaper cream, your wipes, And so I should mention, so through our diaper bank program, diaper banks are required to distribute 1 week's worth of diapers. So we don't cover a full month of diapers for babies in need. So depending on the size of the diapers, it's either 25 or 50 diapers that they get once a month, and what the National Diaper Bank has termed the diaper gap. So through programs like WIC, they can purchase a certain number of diapers, and then they always have a week where they're either reusing old diapers or they can't take their kids to daycare because they're not allowed to drop them off without diapers. And so we're meant to sort of service the diaper gap.
That's incredible. You'd think they'd realize that people need a certain number
in 30
of diapers.
states, diapers are still taxed as a luxury item, and so are period products.
Yeah. Okay.
Not New York.
Not New York. I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
I guess it's where book banning takes place. Not saying anything, not being political.